Woohoo! Welcome, beloved. Hi there. It's Dr. Amanda Noel, and this is our second, number 2, Twin Flame Q&A Tuesday. So I'm really excited. My inner girl is like, yay, let's do it. She's a little nervous too. First of all, I wanted to lay some ground rules. Is you are required to bliss out, to learn and grow on this call. You may want to take some notes or at least create a really safe space for yourself to make a leap in your life. So let's create some grounding. We'll call in the directions, and we will just do a brief, just lighting the candle here, rose quartz. And then we will dive in with your questions. So I believe that you can ask a question here on the live chat. I'm still learning how the chat works, but I do think it's live, and I would love to see your questions and read them. And have some questions that have been asked that I would like to address. And I also would like to do some flow, some channeling, and just see what happens. So thank you so much if you're here live or if you're tuning in on the replay. This is so exciting. All right, so calling in the directions. Let's go start with our northern direction with the earth energy. We welcome you. Calling in the east. Oh my gosh, I believe it's air. I usually have a cheat sheet, but we call in the energy of the bird spirits and the angels and the south and the fire. Calling in the energy of Aphros. Aphrodite is the southern wind, or Aphrodite is connected to that word, south breeze. So bringing in the fiery winds and stoking our inner flame. And then to the west, we bring in the water. Perfect. All right, so we're going to dive right in with some twin flame magic. Where do we want to start? So I've had some questions about some twin flame theory questions. I've had some questions about, like, a common question I get, which is my twin flame has died. And I see that we have a comment here. It's a candle. That's awesome. So if you are here live, you get first precedence on your Q&A questions. Otherwise, I will pull from the questions that have been posted in our Facebook group. By the way, if you want to join the Facebook group, you can go ahead and add yourself at Bachelorette Boss Babes Society. And one of the questions I had was about body image. So one of my clients, she's been with me for a couple years now, just recently posted her video online, and I realized, oh my gosh, she's lost like 50 pounds. And I had a question from someone saying, what do I do? I have kind of some sugar addiction issues, some body image issues. And whether you have a body image issue or maybe you just ignore your body, you're like, oh my gosh, I've been at my desk all day. I'm a boss babe and I forgot to stretch. Maybe you have a body image issue of something that you're carrying for someone else. So I want to do a little channeling about body image, because what I'm getting is that just by growing up in this capitalistic culture of United States or other countries that have been globalized through a lot of these similar programs and through lifetimes of the patriarchy coming in, we women have forgotten our inner Aphrodite power. We have forgotten that we are goddesses of love, and we are naturally designed to be beautiful. We're naturally designed to be pleasing and attractive to our partners. And when we really take care of ourselves and we fill up on light and we fill up on wonderful foods that just resonate with our frequency, we actually have this natural magnetic resonance. And I just want to say hello, ladies. I see you, Theola, Carmen, Vim, and Jabinks. So glad you're all here. And please feel free again to type in your questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep channeling with this one about body image. So this woman in particular wanted to know, she has some tendencies to gain weight, to keep like padding away from her twin flame. Like she wants to merge with her twin flame, but she has this old subconscious pattern of pushing away her beloved because she doesn't feel good enough. She doesn't feel sexy enough. If she does feel good enough, she'll have to work some energy. So we'll work some of these energies today about having what we want, about calling in what we want, but also feeling safe, knowing how to discern what is true twin flame energy and what is the false flame energy that we grew up with of, oh, you look like a sexy little thing. And, we have some deep programmings where we can literally get turned on and turned off by the exact same energy, depending on whether or not we feel safe. So I'm going to talk about safety. So let's go ahead and create some body wisdom magic. So the first thing to start with is a clean state. And bringing in Aphrodite. The paradigm where you're trying to do something, you're trying to be different from who you are, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to stop a pattern, you're trying to forgive yourself, you're trying to do anything. That trying to energy is not the same as actually being in this place of a clean slate or a clean state. And what I mean by a clean slate is starting in this moment, not tomorrow, not the diet tomorrow or the regimen you're going to go on, but to start in this moment with your empowerment. And what that means is taking back your power, regardless of what actions you've taken, and committing in this moment to taking the right actions, moving forward from this moment and in through the future. Of course, there's only now, but making that commitment from the clean slate. So you might be saying, well, I don't have a clean slate. I have some sugar addictions, Amanda, or, I'm constantly eating the wrong foods and I can't stop doing it, or I'm constantly skipping my yoga class or my exercise commitments just fall by the wayside, or I'm constantly slouching in front of my desk, whatever that thing is. Reminder, let's all sit in our beautiful posture and feel really good and open. So when we are in that clean slate, that clean state, we're starting from that purity, that love, that I am self and I'm also human. But really, it's about honoring the human experience, the impure. There's a squirrel that's like literally right outside of my window that's like, hello. Honoring that inner animal. We really are truly beautiful, miraculous, goofy animals, just like that squirrel who's looking for nuts. And, we all have that desire, that appetite, and we explore and we make mistakes. We get tricked as children to design our taste buds so that they develop into liking foods that are unhealthy. And then we have to reprogram that. Perhaps you grew up in a healthy family, blessings to you. But I think it's a very rare thing. Even one of my friends who grew up with her mom was like a health food Nazi. It was all about, veggies and vegan and this and that. My friend ended up with an eating disorder. So even the health conscious world can be very toxic and obsessive. And, there are a lot of these beautiful vegans out there that they watch their diets with a very hawk-like eye, and then they're getting things like root canals and ligament issues, joint pain at a very young age. A lot of the people that I've been following that are trying to advertise a vegan lifestyle, they look very depleted. Some vegans have figured it out, but I think a lot of people are adhering to this one size fits all, this pressure. So let's really tune in and do a quick drop in of what does your body need. So one of the tools is to drop deeply into a meditation and start from that clean slate and just really breathe into your body. And I'm going to give you a tip. If you haven't heard of Wim Hof, I practiced Wim Hof breath. It's a new practice for me, and it's been doing amazing things in my body. I won't say yet that I've cured myself, but it's been a couple of months since I have had a regular menstrual migraine, and I believe it's due to the oxygen as well as to some dietary supplements and some miraculous healing things. But for those of you who don't know, I suffered from menstrual migraines from the time I was 21. And, for anybody who has chronic pain, I understand it now, because I would have 3 to 4 days of chronic pain where I would be vomiting and felt like Satan was stabbing me in the left side, my feminine side of my head, which is where trauma was lodged in some physical abuse, not only in me, but probably going back, I can trace it back to 3 generations on my feminine lineage side. And so when we have a body thing going on, when we're working on calling in our beloved, we're working with the blueprint of the body. The body, as everything, as in everything, maps out through the hologram. And the ancients would map it out with the Adam Cadmon body frame. You might see it as the Da Vinci, what's it called? The Divine Man. I'm not thinking, the Vitruvian Man. And there are all these beautiful cubits and perfect proportions based on the golden mean and all of the sacred geometry within our bodies. And so the left side in a way maps out to the more feminine side. The right side maps out to the more masculine side. There's some different theories on that. Chinese medicine actually reverses that. But there's a lot that we're remembering and rediscovering as awakened beings that I think mainstream science is just starting to kind of get on the periphery. And some of these alchemy, students of alchemy, alchemists have been learning about this, where essentially our body holds codes. Our body is a mirror of our twin flame in 3D. We have a separate body, but the resonance of our body mirrors or polar mirrors, because mirror is a reflection, but it's also the opposite. Like your left side mirrors their right side, right? And so there's this yin yang within the twin flame mirror. So our bodies hold this potential, and this Vitruvian Man was mapped out with actually the Kabbalah, and different parts of the Kabbalah mapped out to the chakras. Map out to the chakras. It's still a system that works. And it goes all the way back to the Temple of Solomon. So Solomon, soul of man, or sun and moon. Solomon, man is moon. So soul is S-O-L, is like sun, and moon is moon. So we have the feminine and masculine temple of the sun and moon. If you don't know, a lot of times the moon temple represents, in different civilizations, the temple of the goddess, versus the temple of the sun is going to be the temple of the masculine. So we have left and right, male and female. And with this temple body, we literally hold the codes of the Temple of Solomon, the original temple of God, goddess, the template of Adam and Eve, the template of the harmonized feminine and masculine. When we start to go off track, we start to run our hormones in a way that burns out and depletes our feminine energy, the yin. When I was studying traditional Chinese nutrition for several years in my early 20s, because of my migraines, it led me into this world of holistic healing, which has taken me 17 years to finally get to the end of it, knock on some serious wood. But this gift of chronic pain in my body that started from the medical systems giving too much antibiotics to me as a child, vaccines that maybe were in a conduit or in a medium that had aluminum and things that were unnecessary, as well as just being in an environment in the city that had a lot of toxic chemicals and cleaning products and foods that I was eating. I grew up on a lot of the junk foods. So there are so many of us highly sensitive beings, twin flames, light workers, healers, and even just the mainstream is waking up and getting sick. And I don't want to put this into anybody's space. I want to speak it into a way of more positive way. We are waking up to our ability to heal or heal thyself. We are waking up into the opportunity to integrate practices such as permaculture, holistic health, sustainable living, a non-toxic lifestyle. And those of us who have had these body awakenings, getting sick or experiencing chronic fatigue, candida albicans, all kinds of mysterious allergies and gut issues and illnesses, things like that, it's an opportunity to actually align with our twin flame energies, to balance our masculine and feminine. So in my traditional Chinese medicine nutrition training, I learned that women have 5 times more hormones than do men. And our hormones are made up of fats. So we need to eat differently than men. We need to have more omega-3s in our bodies. When we run out of our hormones, we need to replenish with certain foods and supplements that are going to really be different than a male body. So unfortunately, women's health has been kind of this one size fits all thing. Men, women, they eat the same thing. So it's really important to bring back our women witch doctors, our women healers, our women scientists that can really address the needs of the female body. But one of the things I wanted to start with is simply by relaxing and doing breath work, we can balance our bodies, whether male or female, something in between. Your body can be healed with oxygen. It is truly a miracle cure for everything. So I have experienced waking up camping on damp ground and going, oh no, I'm gonna be sick. I feel a tickle in my throat. I feel groggy already. It's coming in really quick. And laying on the ground with my beloved, guiding me through the Wim Hof breathwork. And Wim Hof is something you can look up, but the Wim Hof Breathwork Method is very simple. It's just breathing in really quickly and breathing out kind of just naturally. And breathing in quickly and then just breathing out naturally. And so you can keep doing this for 2 minutes, and at the end, you can see if you can hold the breath for as long as you can, 30 seconds. I even held it for 2 minutes the first time, and I was like, whoa, I have some big lungs. So breath work is not only a powerful tip for healing your body on a physical level. It's also incredibly powerful if you want to envision losing weight or feeling safe in your body in areas where you've had trauma and anxiety stored. You know, a lot of times I've had issues working on third chakra feeling good enough, root chakra feeling safe enough, and sometimes those kind of go together. Oh my gosh, am I good enough to, really grow my business and to really have the home that I want that feels safe, to have the healthcare and the holistic care? Before I would kind of get the cheapest healthcare plan. Now it's like, no, I want my naturopathic doctor, my acupuncturist. I want the best supplements, all organic food, all sustainable. And so bringing that breath into the chakras where things are tight or kind of crinkly or entangled or murky, you can burn off those chakra blocks that have been waiting for so many years. You don't even necessarily need to know what was there. However, hold on one second. So cute. So my mom is staying here in my guest room and my dad's calling. So my dad and mom agree. So sweet. Love to introduce you to my mother, but I didn't invite her to do that. So I don't want to put her on the spot. So just want to give a shout out to my parents because they're both amazing healers who came from some pretty intense roots, as I think anybody born in the 40s did. And they did so much healing and became incredible psychotherapists and social workers for low income populations. So just thanking them for their work and allowing me to do this work today. And let's see, I'm flowing with the flow here. So Wim Hof is something you can look up, but again, you can start right away, breathing in really quickly, either in through the nose or in through the mouth, and then releasing at your own pace. Now, those safety pictures, again, you can breathe into the chakras. What I do in my work is I scan women's energy fields. I'm an empath, so when I work with my clients, I will naturally I will sometimes actually almost experience the trauma that they went through, but it's not uncomfortable because I'm not going through it. And I've been through really intense stuff. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm clearing out this abuse energy, or I'm clearing out this creepy thing, or I'll have this, not Gnostic experience, but this visceral experience. Sometimes I'll start sweating and it'll smell different. I'm like, oh, there's the healing sweat. And I'll shed this energy when they're willing to do the healing work. They have to do it with me. I'm a believer personally that if you are working with a healer and you're not doing the work yourself, if you are stuck and you're like, do this, then you end up putting your karma into their space. You create a karmic cord attachment, and then oftentimes that healer will eventually burn out. They may gain lots of weight. They may, take on disease. They may take on, like a lot of healers, you'll see them, they'll start making all this money, they'll start being really successful, and then they'll get cancer, or they will have all this money and then they just look so old. I've seen a lot of people on YouTube just blow up. They're like, I'm buying a house, I'm a healer, I'm a light worker, and they get really sick. So just really important. I want to mention that because as a twin flame, you are a healer. You're healing your partner, you're healing yourself. You're a healer like 24/7. And we are healers. Our bodies are healing all the time, right? However, it's really important to just set up a boundary and to say, I put myself first in every moment. I make sure that I'm taken care of. The oxygen mask is on me. Let's all take in a deep breath and just take care of yourself. So Infinite Amity says, you're always so intuitive. These are current issues I'm dealing with as well. So yeah, I think a lot of twin flames are looking at setting healthy boundaries. A lot of the dynamics, as I talked about in some of my twin flame narcissist videos, is people who grow up with parents that don't set boundaries oftentimes will become either an empath or a narcissist, sometimes a little bit of both. Because without knowing what the boundaries are, you're always kind of like, oh, I have to overgive, or I have to sacrifice a part of myself in order to feel safe. I have to not feel safe, this kind of upside down, topsy-turvy, wishy-washy thing. And we are rising the divine feminine, which really requires us to rise our boundaries, to rise those masculine structures like Archangel Michael, like, nope, here's my temple, here's my body temple, I'm not taking that on. I saw this awesome meme. I totally wanted to steal it on Instagram. It was like something about saying goodbye to the ghosts, the penis ghosts from, the ghost from Penis Past or something like that, where basically this energy healer was talking about how when we take on a lover, we can often take on their trauma, we can take on their energy, we can take on their abuse, we can take on their love. And I wasn't aware of this until I ended up reconnecting with my first boyfriend, who was my first love, and we connected 20 years later. I'm 37. We met when I was 17, and we didn't speak for 20 years. And just realizing how connected we were, even though we haven't spoken, it's just a quick little, Instagram conversations. And it's like so good to see he's with his daughter and doing well. And it was weird to feel in my body like, oh, I still have some clearing to do, some boundary setting now that I'm married. He came in literally right before, I think a week before I got married. I was like, oh, you have to clear this out. So this breath work can be very helpful to breathe in as you meditate and release out old lovers. Again, for this client of mine, or this fan of mine, I guess I'll say, who was dealing with feeling unsafe and gaining weight and putting a wall up to push men away, push lovers away because she didn't feel safe, she didn't feel good enough, some trauma from childhood. What I recommend to you, if you are in this situation where either you diet too much, or you put on too much weight, or you have a binge purge. I had yo-yo dieting. I've done it all. I've been healed of my disordered eating for about 10 years at least, maybe even 15. It was a gradual experience. But even when I have emotional eating or things like that, I'll just really tune back into meditation. Breath work is super amplifying to meditation, and I will just feel into the emotions. Otherwise, they become goblins that gobble up or push away food. And let's see. All right. So I wanted to answer one last question. We have a few more minutes. I've done some videos about this, but I keep getting, I know who my twin flame is. Already right there, I say, no, you don't. You know who your twin flame is if you are with your twin flame, and your twin flame is with you saying, we know who our twin flames are. I know who my twin flame is. She knows who her twin flame is, or he knows who, and it's done. It's signed. If it is not a mutual spoken agreement, it is not guaranteed to be a twin flame union, hands down. When you say, Amanda, I had this vision my guides told me. I had this dream. I've had multiple orgasms. He's married to another woman, but it's my twin flame. I am so sorry to tell you, but you have work to do. There is grown-up adult work that needs to be done. If you are not in a consensual, co-creative, not codependent, but interdependent, empowered partnership that is consensual in body, mind, spirit, boundaries are very clear about what that is. You have something that is like almost pregnant, but the deal is not done. So if you have all of these signs, that doesn't matter. Are you grounded on earth in a 3D relationship? Like some women talk about, I have a 6-figure business, but I don't have any clients. It's like, that's not a 6-figure business. If you're not making money, that's not a 6-figure business. If you're making money and you're spending it all and then you have nothing at the end of the day, that's not a 6-figure business. If you have someone you're obsessed about and you're counting the signs to prove to yourself and everybody else, and you're posting on all these YouTube groups and Facebook chat groups and forums, and you have a whole brand, some women even create an entire brand. They have millions subscribers sometimes of, I know I'm a guru about twin flames and soulmates. I'm not with my twin flame, but I'm going to talk about it. Men do this as well. I'm thinking of some major YouTube celebrities that they say they know who their twin flame is, and they're teaching all these philosophical things about the twin flame. But I think, therefore I am. So if you are thinking something and you're not embodying it in the 3D, then there's a gap here. So thoughts create things. Thoughts create things. If your thoughts have created a disconnect with somebody and you're saying, that's my twin flame, but I'm disconnected from them, that means that you are disconnected from your own flame. Hands down, you are not united with your inner flame. And I'm being a little Kali on you. Kali is the destroyer. And I'm not saying this to hurt anybody. I'm not saying this to judge anybody, to shame anybody. I'm actually here to just clear the air and be a truth teller. And if there's any woman or man here listening who wants to be so attached to knowing who their twin flame is that by me saying this might not be your twin flame, that you spiral into mental health craziness, go take care of yourself right now. If not believing that someone's your twin flame makes you totally crazy, I have been there. And it's not your time to be on this type of level of conversation, of really falling in love with your own twin flame. And just personally, I no longer want people that thank me for my videos say, thank you so much for doing your work. I'm obsessed about this guy that I met in 3rd grade and he's so great and I think about him all the time. He doesn't want to be with me. He's married to someone else now. And I get it. I have so been there, and I've helped thousands of women get out of the same situation. I recently worked with a client who had her twin flame that she thought was her twin flame, met him 20 years ago. We did deep work together. She hired me and she started working in our twin flame mastermind, the twin flame C-Star Mind at Aphrodite University in our BA program. She got into her coursework. She cracked open. She came to one of our retreats. She shifted and she said, shit, I didn't realize how locked in I am with my so-called twin flame who's married and has children with someone else. Kid you not, within a few weeks, this man came from England, knocked on her door late at night, freaking out, confessed his love for her, saying, I think you're my soulmate, but I can't leave because I have a marriage and kids, but I have to tell you that I think I fucked up and I should have been with you. And she was like, and she went through this massive grieving, deep, rich grieving for the loss of the twin flame. And here is where I want to support you, my sister, is this is part of the twin flame alchemy. This is twin flame separation, not about you and some guy named Joe. I don't care who you're talking about. It could be Joe, it could be Patty. I don't care about who your obsession is. My obsession, I had like 3 different twin flames. And then I started going, wait, if I have 3 different obsessions at different points in my life and they all felt real, and each one of this is the real thing, then maybe my next one is also a figment of my imagination. Maybe I need to be playing the game differently. Or maybe I've been obsessed with a guy for 5 years and maybe I'm gonna miss my fertility window if I just keep obsessing. Maybe I need to U-turn and have a higher standard. Maybe I need to work on me, my self-esteem, my self-worth, step into my power and start listening to twin flame leaders who actually have relationships that are functional and healthy and moving forward, and they're on their soul purposes and they're actually making a difference in the world versus just channeling theoretical ideas that just drip onto the floor and are making a mess and not actually getting anyone their ultimate aligned partner. So this client of mine, she's in a grieving process. She is falling in love with herself. And this is the twin flame U-turn. This is going from the separation going back into ourselves. And that is the heart chakra. That is the resurrection. That is the dying on a cross, feeling like you're dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. There's no more twin flame for me. Oh my God, if it's not Joe or Paul or Mary or whatever. And just sitting there in that discomfort and allowing yourself to feel your own death and going, when I sit through my pain, it sucks, but yeah, I'm going to sit through a little deeper. I'm going to die a little more. Like, how many times do we need to die and be reborn as babies and grow up? Like, how many times do we need to reincarnate before we realize that we're almighty, we're infinite, we're powerful? And how many breakups with our so-called twin flames do we need to realize that our heart is undying? We have been chasing the false flame for so long. What about realizing the true flame is inside of us? It's in our womb spaces, it's in our hara, and it rises up. That cauldron of fire warms our lungs and our breath, and it seeps through our entire being and aura, and it spreads to all dimensions through the galaxy. What if we played a different game? Instead of trying to fix the pain, trying to put on padding, gaining weight, or creating businesses so we can be good enough and playing all these crazy bullshit, I call them Illuminati programs, because it's like this matrix designed from this fear. What if we came into the almighty, I am powerful self? You may put me in a ball, in a pool of acid, you may put me on a cross, and I am still a fucking twin flame. I am still here. I am still the Christ force energy. I ain't stopping. You can't torture me. You can't do anything that's going to stop me from finding my twin flame. Those women that want to be like, just like feeding like crabs on the twin flame obsession, men that aren't there for them, men that treat them like they give them a little breadcrumb and just, it's kind of like rotten breadcrumbs. It's not even like a good, like Italian bread. It's like this stale, like cheap bread, the Wonder Bread. What if you actually waited and held your light, held your sacred chalice as if she was so sacred that you're waiting for that one seed for immaculate conception? I don't believe in all the Bible, biblical, religious stuff. I'm not talking about literal sex. I'm not saying you need to be a virgin and purify. If you want to do that, great. I did a re-virginization Aphrodite's bath on Crete in Greece, where Aphrodite was present for many, many years being worshipped, and she reincarnated physically there. And that allowed me to reclaim this virginal energy, this Virgin Mother Mary energy, marrying ourselves, not marrying the matrix of what is told to us, not marrying, you're going to have to settle for less. You're just a girl. You're going to have to marry some guy and you're never going to be as good as them. A lot of the women that are obsessed about twin flames are just projecting. And I want to honor Infinite Amity said, with an intense abused history, it makes it difficult to feel safe to work with the healer and not hurt them. So I want to talk about, man, I'm just going for a while. I thought I'd go for like 15 minutes. This is awesome. You guys, you ladies, turn me on. This is great. So all of us have gone through a galactic experience of the separation of the feminine and the masculine, the feminine receiving abuse from the dark side, and then the male energy receiving abuse from the dark side. And we've gone through everything. We've gone through some really intense toxic energy. And now the twin flames are coming together. The feminine, the masculine are aligning. But we all have this PTSD, this pain, these codes, these survival patterns, things that don't make sense. Wow, why did I turn away from the guy when he's checking me out? He's gorgeous. He's probably a really great guy. And I just act like I'm too good for him, or I'm not interested, or whatever. So many of my clients tell me that they give all their attention to guys that don't deserve it, or girls that don't deserve it, and vice versa. The ones that are actually really decent characters that hold potential, they'll just like freeze up. So these blueprints come from lifetimes, thousands of years. The destruction of Atlantis, separation of the feminine and the masculine, the separation of the avatars of Mary and Jesus, Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, Miriam of Magdala. So to put it all together, it starts by breathing into our heart and into our womb space and claiming, I think, therefore I am. And I think thoughts that serve me. And when I'm thinking thoughts about Joe, who's married to another woman, or when I'm thinking thoughts about the guy I met in 3rd grade and we had 7 different synchronicities, therefore he's my twin flame, even though he won't give me the time of day, he's committing to someone else, he's not growing, he's not learning, he's stuck. Those thoughts suck. They really suck the life out of you. And I've seen myself and so many other women get glamored, get hypnotized by these Illuminati thoughts, this matrix of just someday my prince will come. I'm just going to obsess about this guy. And it takes doing the deep work. So like my client who said yes, even though she was terrified, she was like, I don't know if I can meet my twin flame. He's already married. And what do I do if I commit to calling him in? I'm just going to be disappointed. She said yes. And she's already transformed and U-turned and is now in a process of falling in love with herself, facing her emotions, stepping up into her power. And she's getting to be more turned on. She's starting to practice Tantra and is so inspiring and inspired. And she's raw and real. So it may take, like my volleyball coach used to say, you may have to get worse to get better. You may have to fall to stand. You may have to die to be reborn. It's hard, but it's so beautiful. And there's the other side of it, right? There's the masculine. It's hard. You got to push through it. And yes, that's true. Like you can't move forward without taking steps. But you can put your music on, you can sing, you can do the journey, listening to an awesome podcast, eating your favorite organic strawberries and raw chocolate. So if you are a single spiritual woman who is ready to call in her true twin flame, regardless of if it's Joe or someone else, I don't know why I'm talking about Joe, because I used to have a crush on 2 Joes. One I thought was my twin flame. Anyways. And things aren't working in 3D. Things are not in alignment. I encourage you to work through the blocks, to work through the subconscious patterns. But the first step to do that is to admit to ourselves that if our life in the 3D, in the outside world, is not what you want, that there's an inside job. And committing to healing ourselves and awakening that flame, especially as a woman. We have a job. We've been suppressed for so long. And if we don't step up and do this work, we are perpetuating the wounds of the feminine. We are perpetuating the Mary Magdalene, fallen Magdalene. We're perpetuating slavery. And I believe that it's a hologram. And I believe that when one woman empowers herself, she empowers the millions, the billions of women. Our population has gone from when I was in kindergarten, it was around 4 billion, to now, I'm 37, 7 billion people. And we are over 3.5 billion women on this planet. And a lot of the 3.5 billion women and girls are far worse than you are. They are enslaved. They're suffering from worse abuse trauma than you went through. They were sold off into sexual slavery and are still there. We have a chance. We're doing this work. If you have free time and internet, you found me through YouTube. It means you have opportunity. You have resources. You have hands perhaps that can work, or you have a mind that can work. You have the opportunity to make money. You have a voice. You're in a free country. Maybe some of you aren't completely in free countries. I know I've been working with women in over 30 countries around the world, and sometimes these countries that are more patriarchal are pretty scary to speak from your voice. So I want to acknowledge that that may not be you, but for the most part, most of us women here have a voice. We have free will. We have laws. And even if you are suppressed in an abusive country, you have free will and you can choose your path. So if you have this opportunity and you are choosing to obsess and get stuck and you're in agreement with playing small, I ask you why. And I ask you and I pray for your soul to be free, to know that you are a sovereign being and you have the free will to go wherever you want. It may not be with Joe, but someone else will come in, or a whole soul family will come in and give you the love that mirrors the love that you are building within, that's flooding and overflowing through your being. So it starts within. And sometimes if we have been stuck for lifetimes and we have those I'm not good enough patterns. I know I had a lot of not good enough patterns. It really came in strong when I launched my Blissness. For those of you who don't know, I work with one-on-one clients and I work with my group programs at Aphrodite University. And I had a huge block. I was working at a job I hated. It felt like golden handcuffs. Some of the clients were really awesome, but I didn't like my boss. And I didn't like that I was being micromanaged all the time. And I wasn't getting paid enough. And I was working too many hours and it was really literally weighing on my shoulders. I pulled my neck doing these 6 hours a day of facials. And I said, please, goddess, free me from this. And I started my own Blissness and I launched it and I just channeled and I blew up my Blissness. I had a following on YouTube. I had some soul family connections that were promoting my work. They said, hey, you are gifted. You have the twin flame light codes. I see you. I want to promote you. And overnight I had a full-time practice and it was amazing. But there was a point where I started to burn out. I couldn't see those 10 clients a day and I couldn't charge the rates that were low. And so I hired a coach that had these really high level standards and boundaries. And I got this divine guidance. I need to work with her. And it was like, okay, I'm going to sign up for you. Whatever your package is, I know I need to sign up for you. And she said, okay, well, the program that I see you in is a $16,000 program and you need to make the decision by tomorrow. And I was like, 16K, what? And I had grown my business enough and I had worked my booty off. 2 years before I was making $5,000 a year, but because I worked in this kind of slave spa job, I had money, but the not good enough energy was so intense. And so I was talking to her and she basically identified and said, is making a decision because you don't feel good enough and saying, I can't afford this because it's way out of my budget. And even though I could move the money around and make it happen, put it on a credit card, I was like, fuck, I feel the yes, I feel the truth, and I feel the not good enough energy. And she said, if you say yes to I'm not good enough and I'm not moving forward, even though you're guided to get the support and to get the tools and templates and masterminding to create your 6-figure blissness, and you want this, then what's going to happen is every client you work with, you are basically reprogramming them to believe that they are not enough for money or for what it is that they want. So I really wanted to live as a sovereign being. I didn't want to work at a slave job, but I also didn't want to work in my own blissness as a slave, getting burnt out and tired. And so I trusted the universe. And what happened is I manifested clients so easily and gracefully. I was able to pay off my tuition for my coaching program. And I raised my rates, and I actually was able to charge, I wasn't able to say 16K, but within, I think, the month, I had a $6,000 package that I sold. And I was like, whoa, that was so crazy, because my mind had been blown. I expanded my I'm not good enough from here to like, I can only afford this amount, and I can only afford this amount. I had been charging, I think, $1,500. I was like, I can charge $1,500 and I will pay $3,000 for a coach. Instead, I hired a $16,000 coach, and I was like, all right, I can charge $6,000. And I worked really hard with my clients. So this not good enough energy that so many women are conditioned with, to the point that we don't even know it's there. It gets in our money. It gets in our lifestyles. We say no to traveling the world, to going to sacred sites that are calling us, that are saying, please come visit me, activate me. I have codes to give you. We may have our twin flame on the other side of the world, and we're saying like, no, I can't afford it. I don't have the power. Money is just a mere mirror of our self-worth and our ability to say yes to the universe, and also take action that actually aligns with our soul's yes. So yes, it's important to have structures and support. Like, I hired a coach, or some of you will need to find a soulmate aligned job to get that income coming in to afford your self-healing work. And it's such a huge gift when you invest in your healers, the high-level healers that have already done the work. They know how to work with clients just like you. They've done this time and time again. They're experts. You're investing at that high level, and it aligns with their high level skills, that it raises your vibration and it raises your alignment so that you can call in whatever it is you need, whether it's your ultimate beloved, or if it's finances, or better health, or a divine home. This is twin flame energy. So I wanted to bring this down to earth. For those of you that are really feeling that I am so done with waiting for my mind to figure it out. I've been doing this work. I've been calling in the wrong twin flames, or I've been waiting in limbo, waiting for him to fix himself and come back to me, or waiting for me to fix myself so I feel ready for her, him. I'm so excited, if you are willing to do this work, to sit down and create a magical, blissful, and freaking badass grounded explosion into your twin flame energy. To really go through, where are those blocks? Where in your aura are you stuck? Where in your mindset are you making the wrong decisions that are repeating the results over and over again that are not the results you want? I would love, during a one-on-one conversation, to dive in and get a clear vision and hold space for what you're here to manifest, not just in your twin flame, like your beloved. That's great. I love sex. I love your man. I love your woman, whatever, intimacy. That's so awesome. But that's not why I'm here on this planet. I'm here to rise the Isis and Osiris, the Magdalene and Yeshua, the twin flame, feminine and masculine, to be on soul purpose, coming together and creating the legacy of the twin flames into awakening the planet. That's what this is about. And that's why I offer you, if you are feeling that desire to get my support, to apply for the twin flame activation session. So this session is valued at $697, and my time is limited, so I can't offer everybody. So there is an application form. Fill out the application form if you are ready to get that little activation already, whether you get qualified and get this session with me, or if you get the free gift that comes out of it. And just the application is such a grounding thing. You'll answer some questions that get you thinking and get you in your twin flame energy, and will help you start to clear out some of the fantasy and the confusion and the blind spots, just by putting this down on paper, on the form. It's very grounding. So the URL for this application form is Aphrodite, APHRODITE, university.org/activate. And I love doing these sessions. They're so healing for me because every time I help a woman through something, I mirror that healing to my past self, my past lifestyle, to my future self, to any of the blind spots that I haven't worked through. When we look at past lives, I end up channeling some of the craziest shit that's so helpful for me to evolve. So while this session is $697 today, and for those of you who qualify, this session is completely complimentary. So all I want to ask you is to watch the video on that page before applying. It's very short, it's like a 5-minute video. And it's a little bit of a training and an activation, and it sets the space for your twin flame activation in itself, the video. So it's aphroditeuniversity.org, like short for orgasm, /activate. So the reason that, what do I want to say? The reason that I wanted to really, or what I wanted to summarize today, is that our time is now to ground the roots into the 3D. We have 5D relationship energy already. Like I can feel all of you. We're masterful. We've had past lives. We're already in the 5D. It's where a lot of us went when we were a lonely child, where we were abused, where we were hurt, we were heartbroken. You know, some of you are posting here. This is exactly what you needed to hear. Thank you, Maritza and Gia, hello, and Swag and Alternative Roots. So many of you are in this process of like healing and doing this deep, masterful inner child work and clearing out the divine feminine wounds, the wounds of the divine feminine that have been in all of us. And it's time to ground it deeper. It's time to take action from a more human space, a warrior space, as well as creating that pure virginal love and light. Oh, he's my twin flame. I feel it. And instead of creating excuses or stories of why we're not mirroring our twin flame here in a sacred union, I think it's fine. Some people say, I'm not ready yet. I don't want that. I really do honor that. If you are like, I want to have a little more fun. I want to play around a little bit more. I want to wait until my hair grows out and I have the most, amazing, juicy, healthy body. I'm doing a detox. If you want to wait a little longer for your twin flame and you have a time budget, like I am waiting this amount, that's great. But I have seen women who end up pushing that back and they procrastinate and years go by. And there's like really an out of integrity type of thing of, I just want to hang out in the 5D and clear and heal and do all that energy work and obsess about my twin flame. But when it comes to actually sitting down, having a conversation or going out dating or taking care of my health issue or taking care of my abuse patterns or looking at my psychology and like actually moving forward and getting that empowerment and getting grounded and being a badass boss babe, really aligning with your wealth codes, putting your money where your mouth is and putting your money or your mouth where your money is, eating healthy organic foods and taking care of your temple. It's really about embodying this rainbow of all of our chakras, root chakra, survival and abundance, crown chakra, spirituality, they merge at this heart space. So if you're ready to walk through each of your 7 chakras on the twin flame activation session. I also work with the 3 above and 1 below. I call the twin flame chakras. I would love to support you in the twin flame activation session. So that is my last little announcement. Besides, the new moon is coming up. We have a little bit more time. It's going to be on the 13th of June. It's going to be a really juicy new moon. And let's see, we're also going to be doing something special for the solstice, which is coming up pretty quickly. I believe on the 21st. It'll be the Thursday. I forget which day it is. If it's the 21st. Yeah, on the 21st, I'll be doing something special for the solstice. And I will be launching a twin flame self-love bootcamp as well. So a lot of good stuff coming up. Really, really excited. And Maritza is saying that I really want to do this work with you. So yes, thoughts create things. Desiring and wanting is a wonderful emotion and a thought, and just doing what it takes to make it happen. If that's something you really feel called to do, saying yes, applying. If you know that your income is like barely able to afford not a coach, but even just, some people are like, I can't even afford a bus ticket. And it's like, okay, you probably aren't at the level to really work on your twin flame energy in that space. You probably want to work on getting a stable income and really getting your confidence, being able to commit to work and to receive money. That's really important to be grounded emotionally. We need to be grounded and safe financially. So I no longer work with women that are like, I'll get the money later. Let me sign up and apply. I was like, no, if I've learned and gotten burned, if I try and help women that aren't willing to work on themselves and get grounded and have that financial energy exchange, it's better that they just come to the freebies and get kind of a little bit of an activation, a little bit more, and spend the time until if they feel really called to come in. So, and it's fine. I'm so happy to serve women for free in spaces like this. You can get a lot of downloads and do some of the work on your own, or maybe you can hire a coach at some point if you really want to have a fast breakthrough. And sometimes you just know, like I did with my coaches. I'm like, I know I need to work with you. Oh, fuck. Yeah, you're coming. Yeah. It's like that same thing that you just feel like this is your soulmate and you have work to do and you can't get away with it. Or it just doesn't make sense to keep waiting. So if you feel that call, I would love to serve you. And if you feel the call to just hang out with me next week, that's beautiful as well. We are meeting same time, same place. Looks like I figured out the Google Hangout link isn't the same every week, and the live video is. I'm still figuring out the difference between the YouTube live stream and the Google Hangout. They're both on YouTube. So also, if you haven't joined the Badass Boss Babes group, it's called Bachelorette Boss Babes Society, and it's on Facebook. Bachelorette Boss Babes Society. I'll type it in here. You are welcome to post your Q&A questions for next week anytime in the Facebook group. I pull from that area, Bachelorette Boss Babes Society. And it was such a delight to play and serve. And I see that there are 22 views right now, which is the twin flame number. So I'm going to end it here and go play with my mama and Jack. They're so cute together. They're like, it's kind of crazy, I have to say before I close. It's funny how even though Jack's like really different than my mom, he's a man and he's younger and like they are different. There's something freakishly similar. Maybe because they're both Swedish and 6'4". Jack is like, my mom's like 5'11", so they're like tall and like similar like coloring. It's kind of crazy. I'm like, did I marry my mother? What's up with that? But I think it's a soul family thing. It's like a Atlantean activation or something. It's really fun. So I'm gonna go play with them. We're decorating our house so it looks a little bit more homey. Have so much fun today. Please do feel free to apply for the Twin Flame Activation session while they last. I have a couple more spots available, not this week, but for next week. So I will see you soon. Self-care, eat those healthy foods, breathe the air. Wim Hof, I'll type that in as well. Wim Hof breath, you can Google that and play with that. And I will see you next week. Namaste, namaste, love and light.